Dude, beer number 2.
Man, like an idiot, I didn't put any of those others on ice. So they're warm. So I'm going to have a Hacker Shore.
Hacker Shore. Shout out Hacker Shore. Oh, that's awesome.
Dude, I used to go to this bar in college called, I think, Cowboy Monkey or something like that.
Great name.
Yeah. But they had a bunch of pool tables and the thinnest pizza ever and just huge sausage chunks.
Oh, yes.
It was really good, man. And
that sounds amazing.
We used to go there and they had Hacker Shore on tap.
Okay.
And
so where is that being brewed at?
This is it's brewed in Germany.
Okay. Sweet. Thanks, Germans. What do you rate that beer out of 10?
Yeah, like a 7.
Ooh, okay.
I don't know what, like, I don't know, man. You know?
Well, you can never give something a 10, you know? So there's always something better out there.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
7's fair.
We're going to find out soon. Stuff is going to get mailed to us, man.
Yeah, that's right, man. We might find some tans. Wheat beers. I like the taste of those Hefeweizens or whatever you want to call them. They got like banana plush dribbling out of my mouth with like a tall nose feel, you know. It's good stuff. I am drinking from Devil's Backbone, which is in it's local. I actually went to this brewery. It's an incredible place. It's like a little city. This is in Virginia. For some reason, I thought they were in Carolina, but this is in Lexington, Virginia. And it's a hazy IPA, so it looks just like the color of yours, likely. Intense, crisp, and hoppy notes. So, but I went to the brewery here, and it was incredible. They had a great restaurant, fantastic food. They had like a cigar hut, so you can like go into like this like old, and everything's like wood. You know, it's like wood with taxidermy everywhere, and it's like real like rustic, woodsy Devil's Backbone. I don't know.
Yeah.
But really cool place, man. Had all their beers on tap. I wish they kind of had like I like when breweries have like a beer that you can't get in store, but it's only at the brewery. You know what I mean? It's like they're always working on something. I like that, but they didn't really seem to have that.
Yeah, scarcity.
Yeah, that's what you want, man. It brings the people in.
It's like that Moon Man. It's only available in Wisconsin, so it's like I know I gotta go 3 hours to get it or whatever. You know, it's like
there you go. Yeah, so this is very, very IPA-ish. It says intense and crisp because it hits you in the face right when you swallow it. So it's good though. I give it out of all the IPAs I've had in my lifetime, I give it a 5.9.
5.9, huh? That's average. That's like
it's average.
What? Like, see, when I rate stuff, I'm like 5 isn't even worth drinking, man. You know? Like,
oh, dude.
That's
dude,
like,
that coffee one, it's a 3.
Oh, okay. All right.
Easy 3. I like beer flavors. Anyways, the El Guapo, on my scale, I consider it like a good 7.5, 7.6. It's getting up there. The Highlight, the other one, which my brother also call Ja Allah, is easily on my scale like an 8.5.
Okay, I'll save that
one
of
my favorite ones.
I'll save that for next episode. I'm such an idiot. I only put one goddamn beer on the snow, not on the ice, on the snow.
On the snow, that's right.
Snow probably works better than ice, man. It's more surface area.
Got to.
Yeah.
It's got to. You're absolutely right. It has to. I think it's brilliant. It's brilliant.
And it's free.
And it's
I got tons of it. I can sell it to you, man.
Dude. I don't think we're gonna get any more snow. I think we had that little bit of dusting that I showed you.
Yeah.
And that's it, man. It was like 68 today. Something weird.
Wow.
It's raining. It's supposed to drop back to 30 on like Monday or Tuesday, but then it's just like a steady 50 from here on out.
So this is going to air March 9th, but it's actually February 27th. But man, I think 2 or 3 weeks in February, dude, it didn't get above 20 degrees at all. And it snowed every other day.
Wow. Wow.
And like some of this snow was an inch or two, but we got whacked with a 10-incher and like a 7. Dude, we had like
Wow,
2 feet
man.
of snow, man. It was crazy.
And but like I feel like in order for you to deal with that, you have to somewhat enjoy it.
Yeah. Oh, dude. I mean,
Because to me, I'm like, it's too much.
so I would enjoy it more if I had a snowmobile and if I can snowboard right out my backyard. I love snow, man. I don't care.
Yeah.
Dude, I hate when it melts because it's
Right.
a freaking mess.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. Yeah.
Dog poop just comes out of nowhere. Like, tons of it.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. I was gonna say something. I was gonna say I forget. I don't know. It'll come to me later. Something about snow. Something about. You said that you liked it. Let's see if we can. See if we can bring it back to the front of my brain. You said if you had a snowmobile,
Snowboard.
yep, and you love it. Snow is your best friend.
Let it go, man.
Oh, I don't know what to say. Nothing to do with what you were saying. So it was what's crazy about in Florida is because you have a garden,
Yeah.
right? You guys are some average or above average green thumbs. You and
Not
your
me,
wife.
my wife.
Okay, your wife. Well, you helped in some way, I'm sure.
I till it.
There you go.
That's it.
There you go. There is sweat from that in that garden. That's
Yeah.
all that matters. So William is growing right now. Like he hasn't stopped growing.
No kidding.
So they have like 2 growing seasons, maybe even 3 depending on the weather. I mean, it gets to like 47 at night. So like what they do there is they just throw blankets over everything.
Okay.
So imagine like you roll up and everyone's got like blankets over their palm trees, just trying to keep them alive because it's crazy cold. But he's growing. Dude, he's growing peppers right now, green beans.
No way.
Yeah, man.
So my wife wants me to build a greenhouse.
Okay.
Then we can grow more shit.
For sure.
More throughout the year or whatever. But
yeah.
But man, there's nothing like taking vegetables out of your garden and eating. Man, like tomatoes, dude, when we have BLTs in the summer, oh my God, dude, they are slam like 4 or 5 BLTs, man.
Oh, yeah, man.
Oh, dude.
Dude, something about, I just love like, I think they're called snow or snap peas or
Snap peas, dude.
Dude, I can just crush a whole bush of those things.
Those don't even get inside the house. We just
I know.
eat them in the garden. Like
Yep.
we just sit there.
Yep. You hungry? Go outside.
Oh my God. You can't grow enough of those, man.
Yep. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. Snap peas are good.
I had a bad tomato season last year, so I'm kind of looking forward to what's going to happen this year. I did do some lettuce. I did some romaine. I did some cabbage that got destroyed by caterpillars, and some radishes. So I was able to enjoy that, but not like, I harvested all these vegetables and like I ate them outside, and I was like, this is like kind of crappy because the weather was crazy. It was like 75, 32 at night, 64, 17. It was like they didn't know what to do. So I'm excited about this up and coming. But I thought it was interesting because I was over at my brother's and he's like installing this like whole awesome irrigation system around all of his boxes because he's all above ground. He's like, look at all the stuff I'm growing. I'm like, this is insane.
That's awesome, insane. Dude.
It's hot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird. Florida's cool.
Yeah.
Sometimes. But unless there's a hurricane or something like that. But other than that, it's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
There's a downside to every place. You know that?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
My wife and I always talk about where should we move? Mm-hmm. What's the perfect place? And there's always ups and downs to every place, so.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. So it's a matter of being happy with what you got. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a great message.
Stop searching for greener pastures.
Right. FOMO. Fear of missing out.
Yeah.
I like Virginia because we hit all of it. Like sometimes it snows, sometimes it doesn't. But we got leaf changes. We got hot, cold, medium. The only downfall And when it's cold, it's usually raining and gray. So it's just like rainy and gray for like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, which kind of sucks, but then it'll be spring and everything is beautiful. You know what I mean? So
yeah, absolutely, dude.
yeah, life goes on.
Yes, it does.
So
let's kick this off, right?
So this is a new episode.
Yep.
So, yeah, fire it up, man. Go ahead.
All right. Episode 30 of the Broken Moto Show. I'm Matt from howtomotorcyclerepair.com, and I have Cody from MotorcycleMD. This show is all about answering questions that you submit on your motorcycle.
Yep.
Pretty simple.
And you allow us to answer them while we drink beer.
Yes. Yes. So makes it a little fun. All right, Cody, how do these guys reach us?
They have to email us specifically at askbrokenmoto@gmail.com. That's how you get a hold of us. Okay, if you email our private accounts, it might not make it. We might not even read it. If you want to be on the show, which we do need you guys. We do need you guys because this show lives and dies with the questions that you guys have. I don't think that we would get on here and just talk for 45 minutes, even though we probably could.
Actually,
it'd be very easy for us to do. Yes, yeah, we do. And people complain, and and just life goes on. But we need your guys' questions, and it could be about motorcycles, it could be about ATVs, lawnmowers, just anything want to talk about. We'd be happy to discuss it here. Try to keep it motor related, in that industry. But that's the email. Make sure you give us some really good details, pictures, get more involved, send some videos. Everyone's got a nice phone most of the time. We love to hear you guys talk about your situation. You wouldn't be very surprised at how often we can pick apart things that may be wrong just off of a photo, just off of a simple photo. If you get the carbon apart, take some pictures, a detailed description of what's going on, maybe a little bit of history, year, make, and miles in the subject. Keyword miles, that's pretty important. And send us a picture of your bike. I think that's all I got to add.
Perfect.
Yeah,
that works.
Cool.
So we got to do a trivia question, right?
We do. We need to answer one.
Okay. Answer yours.
The one. So the question that I had last week, aka 10 minutes ago,
for us
was what? See, I don't even know how I worded it last time. So what type of motor, type of head, popular valve train assembly that goes on in motors is able to function both intake and exhaust valves off of one single camshaft? What is the name of this system that is used? It's used in TRXs. A lot of dirt bike stuff uses it. And the answer is the Unicam valve train. And the way they do that is brilliant. They actually use the Unicam system in the brand new 2018 Goldwing. Believe it or not. They used to run two cams. Now they have a Unicam system. So what it is it's one stationary centered camshaft that has, it's, when you break it down, it's pretty simple. It has both intake and exhaust cam lobes on rotating portions of it. So the intakes will run around and spin as usual and contact usually like a shim under bucket style system for the intake. And then they'll take a fork off of a center lobe of the camshaft that functions maybe two exhaust valves. So it's a trimmed down system that works great. They kind of need maintenance more than a typical valve train would, like on a shim on a valve tappet system. Most of the time they run like a shim under bucket for the intake and a actual adjustable system for the front, or they'll also do some type of shim system. But it's a brilliant design. I'm sure many people, it's definitely in Honda's. Honda's been doing it for a while. And I'm sure they're in some other bikes too. I don't know if they call it the Unicam motor. Does Suzuki make a Unicam motor for dirt bikes or anything?
So those, every other model usually has two cams.
Okay.
I think Honda's the only one that I know that does one cam, Unicam.
Go Honda.
Hey, so I was going to answer this question with just saying single overhead cam.
Okay.
That could be a correct answer, right?
Absolutely.
So that's why I was like, oh,
Absolutely.
okay, I know, like just an old Honda that's a single overhead cam.
Yep. I guess I was like harnessing in on the Unicam system.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I guess the way I phrased it. So sorry to everyone who answered the question correctly with single overhead cam, because
Yes, I win. What do I win?
I feel like I go into questions with like the answer in my head is the correct one, but you need to figure out which one that is. I guess is what I do. So you're right. Yeah, it's a single overhead cam motor, like the 750.
It's a trick question, man. There's multiple.
It's a trick question.
It's like
maybe I should have said like I can't say off-road use. I can't detail it enough to pinpoint the answer that I wanted because like I just said, the new Goldwing also uses it. So it's not just like a dirt thing, you know?
Yeah.
I tried.
No, you did fine.
I did that last time with like, I think when we first started this and I was like, what automotive company also made motorcycles that's not Honda, Suzuki, and then someone like, and what I didn't mention was BMW. I was like, oh shit. I completely forgot about BMW. So everyone's answering BMW. I'm like, yeah, you guys are right. You know, you're like, you are right. But that's not the question or the answer that I wanted.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So my trivia question, right?
Do it.
What's the fastest motorcycle you can buy, top speed wise?
Ooh.
So I think it's, I guess you could say production.
Yeah.
Or from a company. I'm not talking custom. Anything, you know, built by someone. I'm talking
out of the crate from a.
If you had the money, you can go buy it. Okay.
Wow. I don't know. I think I know. I think there's like 3 of them that hit in the same category. So, speaking of which, do you see the new Hayabusa?
I saw it in my Facebook feed. I didn't.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if you noticed, but I don't deal with anything new.
Right.
So I don't pay attention, man. You know,
I just think it's cool when companies come out with something that, you know, has been working for a long time and they like redo it, you know? So like the Hayabusa is
it's a monster, dude.
It's a flagship bike.
Yeah.
If you know motorcycles, you've probably heard the term Hayabusa.
I want to ride one, man.
Yeah. They're
I haven't gotten to ride one yet.
Big. They're big.
Yeah.
Very big. It's much like the Honda's Blackbird, the CBR 1100XX. It was supposed to try to compete in that big. That's the last time that Honda competed in the big CC sport bike was the CBR 1100XX Blackbird.
Okay.
Beast of a bike. It's like you're like on a horse that's like been lowered.
Just very stout, very wide.
You're just this huge bike.
Yeah.
Like, what is this?
Yeah.
Cool. So,
all right.
Fastest bike. Yeah. Answer in the comments, guys.
And we'll see next time if we can remember, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Email us your answer with the picture of your bike. And if you got it right, we'll only name the people who got it right if you send us a picture of your bike. That's not going to last. We're going to forget this. Okay, let's go. Question 1.
All right, do it.
1985 VT700C. This is from Dustin. Hey guys, just want to say that I love how much you guys do for the motorcycle community. All your videos are helpful. That's awesome to hear. So on that note, I need your help. I have owned a VT700 for about 5 years now. Has been up until the past fall. Very reliable. I went to start it for a quick ride after work, and I noticed someone had messed with the bike, almost like they had tried to take it but changed their mind. Needless to say, it won't start. It rolls over, you know, hit start a button, the motor is turning over is what it sounds like he's saying, but it won't run. I noticed that the air fuel mixtures were tampered with because the climber book says it should be around 3 turns out from closed, and it was turned all the way in, both sides. Kind of odd. I don't as well as the idle screw. So as if like, you know how you adjust the main idle, it's like someone ran that thing all the way up. I don't know what the settings were originally. Hoping you can help me out. It has over 40,000 miles on her. So it wouldn't surprise me if it needs a few things. Where should I start? Any feedback would be very helpful. Thanks, Dustin. Someone, what a weird way to try to steal a bike.
Yeah. Maybe it'll
I
start
have a
if
long flathead screwdriver and I'm gonna turn his mixture screws in.
How did they even find them in the dark?
That's like something like I would do if I was stealing a bike. Like, I'm gonna mess with his mixture adjustments. I mean, I wouldn't try to steal a bike, obviously, but you have to know what you're doing to do what he did.
I don't think that guy was trying to steal it, man. He was doing the opposite. You know, like, I'm gonna not make this thing run.
Right. You pissed somebody off, Dustin.
Talented ex-girlfriend or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Someone who's probably watching motorcyclemd videos or how to motorcycle repair stuff. Oh man, that's very odd. Very odd. I don't know if he has I mean, I would check for spark, but he's gonna have to make these adjustments and bring it back. So pretty basic standard adjustments is gonna be around 2.5 to 3 turns out on the mixture screws. So just bring those right back out again and try firing it up. You may notice that it will fire right up again because now you've added fuel back into the mixture because it is a fuel mixture screw. And then when you turn it on, it's probably going to skyrocket in RPMs, right? Because the idle is jacked all the way in. So have your hand ready for that. You know, maybe back that back down until you start to feel like you're not really making much. Or you can just like visually see what you're doing. Grab a flashlight, turn your mixture screw out, and see what it's doing to the butterfly plate. As soon as you back it off to the point where the butterfly plate's no longer moving, turn it back in. Maybe 2, 3 full turns. Fire it up. Keep your hand on it. Keep adjusting it until you hear it fire it up. Pull the choke out. Whatever. That's pretty basic. But if someone like took bolt cutters to your ignition switch, then you have a different problem, right? But I mean, obviously that wouldn't happen because he said it was turning over. So that joke kind of landed flat. But what do you think, Matt?
Yeah, like you said, fuel screws, run them out 2.5, 3 turns or whatever. Yeah. I would probably back the idle screw out first before you start it because it's just so I would probably back it out, just back it way out. You can work the throttle and then screw it in so it doesn't sky high, whatever. But I mean, no, that's it. Yeah, check for spark. And who knows what else you're gonna find, man? I don't know, man.
Maybe
I feel bad for
the
you,
exhaust or something. I don't know.
Sugar in the gas tank. I don't know, man. Jeez, people do some weird stuff.
That's right, man. They do. This actually reminds me. I don't know why the RPM adjustment reminded me of this. I have a really good member who actually lives local, and he comes into the shop all the time, and he asks me questions, and I help him out. Great guy. He's done a full frame up rebuild on a CB650. And I remember he's having so much trouble getting it fired, like getting it to run. Right, he did the carb clean. He just couldn't. He couldn't get it, and he eventually just brought the carbs to me. And I was like, "Oh, there's this, and this wrong." Right, and then I fixed them all. And every video he sends me is him like trying to fire the bike up. It's like pop, pop, you know, and he's trying to fire this thing up. And sometimes it would like go, and he'd have the choke out, and he's giving it throttle. And it's like trying to, and it's trying to fire up or whatever. So this was pre sending me or giving me the carbs. I went through them. I was like, throw these on there, man. I promise you it's going to fire up. And he's trying to turn it on, and he's not expecting it to fire up, right? But the idle, I guess I had the idle screw up a little bit too high. And so he's sending me these videos of him trying to fire it up. So he's like, it's not starting. I'm like, make sure you got this A, B, and C. All of a sudden the bike just goes, whoa! And just turns all the way on. And the reaction of him trying to shut his bike back off was hilarious. It was hilarious. He's like fumbling around, trying like, what's going on? Why is it running? It was great.
Oh man.
Of that. But
you ever deal with a runaway engine?
No.
So I was in shop class in high school, and my buddy brought in his wave runners or something because I sucked up some rocks. Mm-hmm. So he was cleaning them out of the impeller, and all of a sudden, I don't know what we're doing, winterizing them or I don't know, whatever. But he started it up, and it was a 2-stroke, and it just full throttle, dude. We're like, what the hell? And I'm trying to choke it on the intake, trying to suffocate it.
Yeah.
And then he's I don't know what he's. Oh yeah, we pulled the spark plug leads off, and it was still running.
Oh my gosh.
So it had hot spots somewhere. So
Yeah.
no spark plugs. I'm trying to choke it, and then my auto teacher comes up. He's like, just pull the choke. He pulls the choke, and it's just like, brr.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, oh.
You're like, oh my God.
I mean, you know,
Oh,
you
man.
can blow stuff up like that, dude.
Dude,
It's
that's a tense situation for a little bit, you know?
yeah.
I remember when I was this 750 here that I'm kind of watching for my boss. That was a weird noise.
I think you're. Yeah, there you
go. When I drove it home, right? I was driving it home. It's a 69 or something like that. Beautiful 750. I was driving it home from work. It's about a 28-minute drive on the interstate, right? I'm getting ready to go onto a road, and the bike shuts off, right? It just dies, and the starter button was no longer working. So I kind of like, I'm trying to like, oh shit, here we go. You know, I'm kind of like trying to like wheel it off to the side, and I keep hitting the starter button, and all of a sudden it fires back up again. I'm like, sweet, boom, put it in gear, and I just take off because the light was green. I've been waiting there for like 10 minutes for this dumbass light. It's like, get on the interstate. I'm just gonna get all the way home. You know, I'll figure it out when I get home as to what happened. I get home and I pull in the driveway. I turn the key off, still running. Take the key out, still running. I'm like, what? What is going on here? You know, and so I'm hitting the kill switch, nothing. It's not shutting off. I turn the gas off. And so I have the key in my hand. I'm coming inside to like, I guess I have to like just undo the battery, you know, like I don't know what else to do because the kill switch isn't working, nothing's working, and I can't just like muffle the intake, obviously.
Yeah.
I guess I could have just pulled the choke up, but in the moment I'm like, why is it still running? Why isn't it not stop running? So, anyways, I pulled the seat up, I grabbed tools, I undo the battery, and finally it shuts off. But it was weird.
So the ignition was still on.
The ignition is shorted.
Yeah, so whether you killed the bike or not, your ignition was still on.
Yep.
So,
and as soon as I hooked the battery right back up again, guess what? Fired up. Boom. So the ignition just had it failed, and it must have shorted, and then it was like, okay, I can start now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. That's
very
weird.
Interesting. I've never seen that before.
Weird.
Yep. Very weird. Motorcycles are cool. So we have a beer fund. Matt, why don't you tell us about that?
Yeah. So if you enjoy the show and want to support us, we simply have a beer fund. It's a donation fund.
Yeah.
You can pitch in and help us out.
Yeah.
So let's acknowledge.
Want me to read them off?
Yeah, you do that.
Yeah. So we have a little bit of a competition going on, what it seems like. If not, these guys are just awesome. They're always here for us. These are our A-team people, right? So we have, in order of delivery, Fitz, Justo, Fitz, Justo, KJ, whoever you are, and Paul from UK. I'm telling you what, man, quality people right here.
Yeah, dude.
Literally, they're like, donate.
Yeah, consistently every week, which is awesome, man. That's awesome, man. Thank you very much.
It's really cool. It's really cool to do something like this with you, and people see value in it, and they're like, I'm going to give my money, you know, to you know, say you guys are doing something cool. So it really means a lot. Cheers to everybody out there. I think last episode we had some people who were talking about, sending us some beer. Dude, I don't shy away from that at all. If you guys want to send us beer to try, dude, we're going to make this a thing. If you guys want to send us beers from your part of the town, email us, you know, and we'll tell you where to send them, right? I mean, unfortunately, you got to spend twice as much money because we don't live in the same area.
Yeah.
Which means they're sending a package to Matt and they're sending a package to me. But hey, you know?
Yeah, that'd be awesome, man.
It'd be awesome. But we appreciate you guys. Big time. Big time.
Hell, if you brew beer.
Ooh. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
Send it our way. We'll try it.
I will drink anything beer flavored. Just to like, you know, I'll try it. unless it's like obvious that it's not beer. You know?
Yeah, right.
I don't want to die on a video feed, so that just got dark.
Yeah. All
No,
right,
but seriously, thank you guys so much.
yeah, thanks, man. It means a lot
Yeah.
for sure. All right, question.
Yeah, too.
Cody and Matt, with spring creeping up on us soon, it may be time for me to purchase a new battery. It seems that there are more choices and price tiers than ever before. How about opinions from you two, lithium, AGM, gel, etc., as to worthiness versus cost? Cheers. Paul from Southern New Jersey, near Philly. He's got an 84, an 85, 650 Nighthawks, and an 08 650 V-Strom.
V-Strom.
So Paul, what I like,
the V-Strom is the on-road off-road.
is it?
Yeah, it's like. Well, I was asking you, but I think I know the answer.
No, I don't know.
I think
I
it's
have no
like
idea.
the adventure
Okay.
bike of Yamaha makes V-Strom. I don't know. Yeah.
I have no idea, man. That sounds good.
Go with it.
Yeah, that sounds good.
What do you think, man? Battery choice.
I like to give birth to my batteries. That sounds weird, right? No.
Right on.
All right, dude. So what I do is I buy batteries from Amazon. They are dry and I activate them.
Okay.
And they are born on that day.
Mm.
So that's what I meant.
Mm.
Sounded really effed up, but
I don't know what to say.
Maybe it's these few beers, dude. I don't know. All right. So
El Guapo creeps in on you, man.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah.
What brand?
I usually go with the Yuasa.
And
that's it. It's simple.
Gold. Yeah.
They haven't failed me. I don't do a ton of batteries, but man, we were pumping them out at the dealer.
Yeah.
Left and right. That's what all the OEMs come with.
Yuasa.
Yep.
And it's going to be a little bit expensive.
$60 to $80 probably.
It depends. It all depends. I mean, honestly, bro, to be a crazy dollar sign on a battery is a Yuasa coming out of a Metropolitan. You're talking about $135 battery. And it's like, yeah, it's not lithium. It's not any of that. It's a Yuasa. I think it's like a YTZ or YTX 5 LBS, something like that. That thing is freaking $125 all day long.
That's crazy.
But like you can get a much larger like YTZ or YTX 8 LBS for a 750 Shadow for like $75. Same company. It's crazy. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, what kind of batteries do you like?
Yuasa.
Yeah.
I'm a Yuasa fan. I've seen some batteries coming out for like, I'm interested in like, because there's some Yuasa batteries that you can't get that are maintenance free.
Okay.
You know, I like maintenance free batteries. I think that having a maintenance style battery is just a mess. And it's just like one other thing I have to worry about.
Are you talking about the ones that has all the screws on top?
Correct.
Yeah.
That you fill and you got to add distilled water to eventually. It's just a mess.
Yeah.
And I don't like running a feed tube out of it. You know, all that stuff. I like to try to keep it maintenance free if I can, or update older systems. So I like Unicron. Unicron is one that has like a transition where like you can get like they're making batteries that will replace your maintenance style battery, like for the old stuff, you know. But lithium, it's the new thing right now that's coming factory in some bikes, right? The new CRF 450Rs, they're coming with lithium batteries in them. You need, excuse me, you need like a specific lithium charger for those.
Yeah.
So you're looking at it as an investment, right? You're buying an expensive battery, a very expensive battery. In most cases, if it's like a good brand, I'm sure eBay has like a $13 lithium motorcycle battery you can find, but a good brand lithium battery, like I think Anti-Gravity sells some, but now you need a charger for it because it charges it at a different rate and it sends pulses and does all different types of different stuff. Optimate is a great charging company. That's what factory dealerships use is Optimate. or Christie if you can still get that, if you can still get a hold of those. But as an I use Genius brand chargers, I love them. I actually just got one. Can I show it real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
Cool. So I just got this one. I actually own 3 of their company. I just love. Dude, I'm a sucker for packaging. Honestly, I like if you're a company and you have cool packaging, I'm likely gonna buy it. I don't know why, but Genius is I've been using their stuff for a while. This is from Noco. Can you read that?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah,
So they
perfect.
have 12-volt stuff. They have 6-volt stuff. They have lithium stuff as well. This is like their newest one. It's like a Haas, dude. This thing's like 5 pounds, but it pumps out at like 6.8 amps. So when you need a battery, it needs to be like kicked, in the butt. Because a lot of times you get chargers that are like, yeah, it's 1.3 amps or 0.8 amps.
Yeah, right.
This is like, if you want to charge it, it's going to charge the battery, right? But lithium, they do AGM as well. There's a different style of charging rate for AGM. The one thing that we've heard from lithium batteries is cold starts. Very, very cold. So we're talking like Matt's temperature colds, right? Having trouble starting. AGM, I don't knock AGM. I mean, it's just a different style of how they lay out the internals. So it's a little bit different substance. Gel, I think it's just something else. It's just like, are you going to buy, like Trojan condoms, or are you going to buy lifestyle? It's same purpose, 2 different things. But as far as what Matt likes, Yuasa, what I like, Yuasa. I think Yuasa is a really good brand, but I can't think of anything else off top. I just know that lithium specifically, you can't just like charge it like you would any other battery. It just takes something additional, and apparently so does AGM.
Yeah, and for the models he has, he just can go with a standard battery. And what's nice about like just ordering it from Amazon or whatever is it comes with the pack. You just slam it on there, it fills the battery, it is activated, and it is brand new on that day.
Yeah, right, the date on top.
Yeah, and then you charge it, and then it's new right there and then versus it sitting on the shelf.
Are you a slow charger on a new battery? Are you do the fast charging rate?
I do the slow. I do the slow, man. There's no rush, man. I plan ahead. When I was working at the dealer, fast charge.
Absolutely.
that bike was sold, and that guy's waiting outside.
Ready to go, man.
You got a fast charge.
1 hour. You got
That's
1 hour. Fast charge, 6 amps. Hit it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With baking soda everywhere, dude. Like, dude. You walk in there, it's like snow, baking soda. All the battery spillage.
You're getting shocked on your way in. Yeah. That's awesome, man. Cool. All right. Great question, Paul from Southern New Jersey. Thank you. Question 3. I got a question maybe you all could help me with. I will use my specific issues. I will use my specific issue, but I think it could be useful to others. I have a 74 KZ400 that needs carbs. From what I've read, the carbs on those are a pain and very difficult to deal with. I see some people mount a single carb in place of 2. My question is, how would one know what carb to use, or is this a bad idea? What do you lose doing it? Can I just replace with aftermarket carbs? If so, which ones? Also, I would like to keep it original, but not if the carbs are going to suck. And how hard is it to sync them? I want it original, but I mostly want it reliable. Thanks. So I have a KZ400.
You do?
I do.
Where is it at?
Can't see it. See that shiny thing right there?
Yeah.
That's the front fender.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. And it's
back there. I'm building a tracker for a friend.
Oh, okay. What year is that thing?
I think it's like a 72.
Okay.
It's very like I'm thoroughly confused with how KZ did these years. They did like like in 72 they did like a KZ 400 and a 440. But like there's no real good indication of like which one do you actually have. It's kind of like what it's like a weird year thing.
Okay.
So but it's 400. So I have heard the same thing, whoever your name is. Question 3 is your name. That the old carbs, they're very clunky. They're very weird the way that they function. They're heavy and there's just a lot going on. I never tried tuning them or running it with that because I've just been doing a lot of other things on the bike, So I if I start hearing that the carbs are a pain in the butt to work with, I mean, I know how to work with any other carb. So and I know that Mikuni makes great carburetors, very adjustable. Almost everything on Mikuni is adjustable. So if you keep doing research, you'll realize that people are just swapping out Mikuni twin carbs on them. I wouldn't go to a single carb. I think I just think it's silly. And it's going to look like doo-doo, Twin carbs are cool because they're twin carbs. You got 2 carbs feeding 2 cylinders. Why put one big carb in? I don't know how to determine which carb is going to fit. That's just a trial and error thing. It's not like, Kawasaki has specs on going to one carb. It's whatever people have done. Someone's done it, obviously. I don't know what they did, but I did the VM. I think it's the 28. I actually have it in my notes. If you give me a second, I'm like building this bike out. It's like a really big build.
So. No, that sounds what it is. A VM28 round slide.
Yeah, round slide. So I think that's what it is. I'll give you some more details, Max. I don't want to make this too long. I can send you some specs that I have on it. But I also read a lot of guys who have been tuning them. I'll get kind of trying to get my feel for some information because I don't deal with the KZs too much. And they're actually reducing the slide size. You know how like you can change the cutout.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so they went to I think they come stock if you get the VM. Like you can buy a twin kit for like $300, and it's come with like a cable, maybe some filters. Find a way to use the stock airbox if you want to. And they're dropping from like a 3.0 to like a 2.0 slide. But if you're running a stock airbox, those numbers might be a little bit different. But I would suggest to wrap this question up. I would suggest going with the VM carburetors. I wouldn't go to a single carb, and I would also ditch the original carbs as well.
So the stock carbs are those round, the pistons tops or whatever you're talking about.
Yep, I have it set right there.
Yeah. So those are no good.
That's what everyone's saying, man. They're like even in like Wikipedia, they're like they had carb issues.
Oh, okay. So it's a known issue with this.
It's a very known issue. So I didn't even like try. I went in like, oh, I know what I'm doing more than everybody else. Like I'm just like, well, then I'm not going to deal with that,
Sure.
So, but yeah, it's definitely a known issue.
Okay. So there's probably someone who sells kits.
Yep.
Right. I mean, you bought a kit for that bike.
Yep.
Okay. So that makes it a lot easier because they got it mostly figured out.
Yep.
There's tuning involved and whatnot. So yeah.
And you got brand new stuff, man. Nothing better.
Cool. Yeah, and those carbs, they are super tunable. You can buy anything you want as far as jetting, assuming you know how to jet if it needs it. But yeah, you can buy everything. Yeah.
Everything's readily available from Mikuni or wherever. So that's what I would do.
All right, cool.
Cool. Question 4, hit it up.
All right, this is a repeat customer. Let's see, what's his name here? Did I put his name in here? No, I didn't.
Okay.
All right. Sorry about that. All right. 1980 Suzuki GS 850. Hey, guys, I just watched episode 28 and you answered my question. Thanks so much. I had a lot of fun watching your moto brains work through the question. It was very helpful, even though I think I caused some confusion by mistake by not being specific about the reamer I was referring to. After I properly removed the valve stem guides because they all tested over spec, the field service manual instructed me to use a 12.2 millimeter valve guide hole reamer shown using by hand to ream the valve guide holes before installing the new guides. I've attached a screenshot so you can see what I mean. I didn't see this one by any chance, but anyway, I think it's when it all started to go wrong. First, the 12.2 reamer was impossible to find. Partzilla came through after a while, but the part number was suppressed by another reamer that was 12.3, which I assumed to be within tolerance. I bought 2 guides, one exhaust, one intake, just to test them out, and they're charging $25 a pop.
Oh yeah.
Note, is that normal for valve guides to be that expensive? The OD of the guides, 2 guides, was 12.4, which seems correct because the reamer was 12.3. So here's my follow-up question. Should I follow this field service manual and ream the valve guide holes by hand, or should I heat the head and drive them in like my spirit animal Cody said to do? Just jam them in there, dude.
Right.
Remember, the service manual called for 12.2 reamer, but I have the 12.3 parts direct from Honda. To be honest, I was never planning to cut the valve seats. The local machine shop was the best option, just like you guys said. Thanks again. P.S. Do you possibly know of any eBay resellers or source of any kind that sell the valve stem guides at an affordable price? $25 is killing me. I have not ordered the other 6 that I'll eventually need. Thanks a million. Hashtag metric or die.
Dude, I've always wanted to meet somebody's spirit animal.
There you go.
It's happened. So it sucks that they're that much.
So, I mean, to you, yes, they're that much. But if you go through a machine shop, they are buying lots of them. I think I paid like $7 a guide when I did my CB750 head. Okay, well, first let me back up. My CB750 head cost $325 to have it redone. That included guides, valves, new valves.
Yeah.
They decked the surface. They bead blasted it. Everything.
Wow.
Everything for $325. Yeah. So I know you're trying to do this all by yourself, but man, $325 is not a lot of money.
For sure.
And you get a lot done, and it is done. You don't have to buy any tools.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I know you want to do everything yourself, but by the time you buy the tools and the parts, man, you can have someone else just do it for you.
Yeah.
What do you think?
To go specific to his dilemma, I think what he's facing is pretty normal. So first 12.2 reamer. It's impossible to find parts that came through, but with the 12.3. I'm just going to go back to the field service manual. Instructed me to use a 12.2 valve guide hole reamer shown being used by hand. But
hey, how do these reamers look? Are they anything special, or are they just like any other reamer?
Google it real quick.
What, valve guide
valve
reamer?
Guide reamer. Yep. And then pull a picture of it. But when you remove valve guides from a head, it's like there's a possibility that you're going to remove some material. Okay, because you're talking about a temp fit style, metal on metal contact. It's not it's a very, very, very tight fit. So when you remove valve guides, I think what they're trying to do is like make up to say, hey, you're gonna get this 12.3 reamer, and you're gonna put a 12.14 or I'm sorry, 12.3. You're gonna put a 12.4 guide in it because you're gonna ream and remove material, and then now you're gonna shove this new guide in there because the material's been removed from either removing the original valve guides or what have you. So it makes sense. What's more important, I wouldn't say more important, but what's also important is the inner diameter of the guide to the valve stem, right? So you're going to open that valve, that head hole, valve guide hole up to the 12.3. You're going to slam this new valve guide in there. It's going to be beautiful. You're going to, the angels are going to sing down from heaven on how great of a job you did. But make sure that the valve inner diameter guide is to spec with the valve guide, with the valve stem, sorry. But that also requires more tools. So as you see here, the reamer is almost like fluted. Like hover over right to the right of that. That's a seat cutter.
Yeah, I was trying
and
to,
that's just a guide. Yeah, so that's a
here.
guide for the seat cutter. But
well, I mean, what I want to know is there anything specific? Okay, so here's the reamer, right?
Yeah, it's fluted like that.
Yeah, so that's a standard looking reamer. All reamers look like this. You can buy reamers in like thou increments or half thou. I mean, dude, you can buy whatever reamer you want.
Yeah.
Okay. Just go to.
I didn't know that Partzilla sells reamers. So that's kind of new to me, but that's like a little bit
but
specific.
And here's another thing. Okay, so you have to have a press fit between the reamer and the. I'm sorry. Between the valve guide and the head, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then depending on the amount of press, which I don't know what the correct amount of press is, he's seeing about 4 thousandths with the 12.3 reamer.
Yeah.
And this whatever, which is whatever.
Yeah.
But then depending on the press, it's going to squeeze that valve guide, and they will have to ream the valve guide to get the proper clearance with your valve stem, right?
Yep.
And then you need to check how the seats interface each other, right? Because it's going to locate it.
Yeah. And it may change a little bit. I mean,
and then he was not even he was saying, I'm not even going to get the seats cut. Well, that's huge, man. A good valve job is like, dude, you're leaving a lot on the table, man.
Yeah, I agree. But to reiterate, what he's going through, it sounds normal, because it's like it's like putting a helicoil in a hole.
Yeah.
Right. You're opening it up bigger to then insert smaller. Right. You have a normal hole, the threads are gone, you drill it out bigger, then you retap that, and then you're installing right back to where it was before. Okay. But you're having to open it up before. So, and it kind of relates. And that's the best way that I could come up with an example to describe the reamer function. But your reamer that you have is opening it up to then allow for a larger diameter OD to fit that into the head for then the valve to then function.
You know what's a crazy question? Why the hell do you have to, after you remove the valve guides, why do you have to mess with that hole? You should just be able to jam a new one in.
Yeah. Sometimes. Like I said, you can remove material because of how sloppy they can come out sometimes. And then cleaning up that hole allows it to go in and seat cleanly.
Okay. I always thought
it's like, yeah, I mean, I'm trying to find an example to like make it in like layman's terms, but it's like, yeah, I don't know. I can't.
And then, when I did the CB750 head, I was talking to him and I'm like, oh, I cleaned up the valves for you and I shipped them to you. He's like, oh, dude, we don't use old valves. He's like, we put new guides, new valves. The springs are okay. And then we cut the seats and then you're good.
Right on.
So you have your guide, they ream it to fit the new valve, proper clearance, and then they cut the seats based off that new valve guide axes.
Right.
So everything's concentric, it seats well, all that stuff.
Right.
Skim the head so you have good head gasket sealing.
Unfortunately, we can't change the price of these guides Because they're just expensive. I mean, unless, like you said, you find a head shop that sells wholesale guides.
Talk to
you
a
know.
head shop because, man, they probably have boxes of thousands of them, and
So do you have a head shop or machine shop near? Sorry, I've been talking outside of the mic the whole time. Do you have a machine shop that is like motorcycle specific?
So okay,
Because I don't think that's the easiest thing to find.
no, and it depends on what your year, make, and model is.
Uh-huh.
Okay, for example, the CB750 Cycle X only does CB750 stuff. They get dabble into 550 stuff, but that's their niche.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I had some 4-stroke dirt bikes explode, and there's a company called Fast Heads. All they do
Okay.
is modern 4-stroke dirt bikes.
Okay.
This guy here, an 80 Suzuki GS850, I don't know.
It's tough.
You're gonna call around. It's gonna be tough.
Wherever you go, bring a 24 pack of beer with you.
Yeah, I mean, you're just gonna need to call around. You're probably gonna have to ship it. Okay,
Yeah, that could happen. Yeah.
Call around. That's the best advice I can give you. So
remember that question from last week from Mike about having a project bike?
Yeah.
This is what happens when you run into X.
Yeah.
Because
let's face it, 1980 isn't the most desirable year.
Right.
It's early 70s, mid 70s, late 70s, 80s. You know, sorry to say, but people aren't as into them right now. They're not as popular.
Right. Which means they may not know a lot about them.
And there's not
because of the lack of interest
and lack of support as
right.
Exactly. So that just happens.
My man here, as we can tell, my man here he has so much determination on his face that he's going to get this done.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
So like we've already told him to go to the head shop 3 times.
Right, so he wants to do it himself, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
dude,
we already told him how to check the seat on the valves. I think what he's dealing with right now is common, but unfortunately, he's going to have to spend some bills to get the valve guides because they sound like they're all out of stock, all out of spec. We know that the best advice that you have for him and that I have for him is that once you do this job, once you have the guides installed, you're going to have to make sure that the guides, the stem clearance to the inner diameter of the valve guide is correct, right? They allow a certain amount of service limit for this gappage, which requires, guess what? More tools, small hole gauges, micrometer to, you can get real down into it and measure all that stuff out. We know the easiest thing to do is to what? Give it to a machine shop, but you got to buy small hole gauges. You got to buy a metric micrometer to measure these things to make sure that you spec out the stem of the valve and the inner diameter of the. I don't know if you ever mess with small hole gauges or not, Matt.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah. So it's a process,
Yeah. I mean, well, here's the thing. All those tools will be more than $300.
Exactly. But
more.
It doesn't matter at this point because he's
no,
in
I,
it.
I know. I know. But like,
if it was me and I was him and I was emailing Matt from howtomotorcyclerepair.com, the one and only, what I would suggest, I guess if I was you, wait, that didn't work out at all. So what I would do is install your valve guides. Okay. Carry on with the chlorophyll, as Adam Sandler would say. Install all of your valve guides, spend the money because I don't know of anybody who's selling cheaper valve guides for your specific bike. Like that's way too specific for me to know or for you to know, for anybody to know, really. Spend the money because you need them if that's what you want to do. And if it was me, I would then take my head to someone who knows motors and say, hey, is there any way that you can check to make sure that these valves are going to work with this head? And if they're not, can you do a valve job for me? Recut the seats. But he's already in this reaming mindset of having to install these guides. So do it. I don't, spend the money. I would then verify all of your work, right? That would be the best thing that you can do. Take it to someone and say, hey, here's a 12 pack. Just let me know. I'll pay you whatever you need. and let me know if I did this correctly, you know, because this is my first time doing it. That's what I would do. I mean, if I didn't know anything about what I was doing, I would have someone check it. You can go to a dealership for that kind of knowledge. You know, people knock dealerships all day long, but the techs most of the time know what they're doing. And there's a lot of information and knowledge to be passed from dealerships. If you say, "Hey, do you mind?" And especially if it's one who you can talk to, the technician, you know, not just a service writer, but you can like some kind of old shop, right? You can go in and talk to some kind of old head and say, "Hey, is there any way you can check this for me? You know more about this than I do. Can you check this out? You've seen this before. Does this all look good?" He may be like, "No, dude, you freaking cracked the head. So now go buy a new head." You know, who knows? But that's my advice on where he's at in his life, in his season.
All right.
Do you agree or disagree?
So you're saying finish up as much as you can.
Yeah.
And then take it to machine shop.
Yep.
So they might redo all your work.
Okay. True.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They might want to start from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
They might.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Make some calls.
Yeah.
See how much it would cost, and then make your decision.
We know you already spent the money. Right?
No, he's ready to buy 6 more. 6 more.
Right, but he bought the reamers. You know, maybe I gave him a lot of encouragement, and he's invested. That's the thing. That's the thing. He's invested in this. And that's totally okay, and that's normal because I invest in all my things that I do. So
Yeah. So I mean,
I agree with you, Matt. I agree with you.
But the difference between the 12.2 and the 12.3 is 4 thousandths. That's a lot.
Mm-hmm. When it comes to what location of the motor he's talking about. Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. Absolutely.
4 thousandths is a lot. It's a big difference. So you're going to have less press between the head and that guide.
But the guide's 12.4.
Right. But they call for a 12.2 reamer. So it was 8 thousandths press, and now it's 4. If he goes with that 12.3 reamer.
Well, it sounds like, and I may be wrong about this, but it sounds like he doesn't, like, we don't know what the factory valve guide size is. That's not in the equation.
Right.
So all we know is that they call for a 12.2.
Right.
For the reamer. So now he has 12.4 guides and a 12.3 reamer, right?
Yes.
So it could very well be that the original guides are 12.3.
It could have been, but it sounds like he's buying OEM guides, right?
That's true. That's true.
I don't know, dude. This is
You guys occupy way too much of our brain space.
Next. Let's just move on.
All right, question 5, man. Get back to us. Let us know what you do. Question. I don't know. We talked about this too much. Dude, it's late. I'm sorry, man.
No, it is.
You want to do this one, or should we call it and we'll just wait till next week? I mean, it's late, dude.
Is this one easy?
We're skimming on 12 on 10:30 or my time.
This one's easy.
Okay. Yeah, it is easy. It's me. Okay. Hi there. I am an
Wait. We can make it easy.
Yes, we can.
Okay.
We can.
All right.
You can. You're right. Okay. Harness Matt. Hi there. I am an apprentice motorcycle mechanic, and I love listening to your show while I work. That's really cool.
That's awesome. Nice.
Yeah, that is so cool. As I can often pick up some tips and tricks, so thank you for that. I was wondering if I could get your opinion. It is in regards to replacing wheel bearings on ATV and side-by-sides. The mechanic who is mentoring me is insisting that I heat up the wheel bearing hub using propane to as hot as possible. While I'm heating it, I have the bearing in the freezer to cool, and in theory, I just simply drop the bearing in. In my research on YouTube and my online training shows to use a hydraulic press. A few other mechanics I talked to also say to use a press. I personally do not like the heat method for many reasons. Which method do you prefer and why? Or do you have another way of doing it? Thanks in advance. Hi again. Just a quick change to my email. I realized that we use MAP gas and not propane. Not sure if that makes a difference. Thanks. We don't got no name again.
Maybe I didn't put it in there. Sorry.
Bummer.
Sorry, dude. I did this real quick today.
It's all good, man. It's all good.
Yeah.
Sorry if we don't know your name. You are officially question 5. So I do both ways, man. I flow both ways, bro.
Depends on the situation.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Both ways. Heat works amazing. I mean, dude, I call it the 5-minute rule. On some things, dude, heat the tits off that thing. 5 minutes is a great time with butane, propane, MAP gas, and that bearing will puke itself out of whatever you have it in. And sometimes that's easier. What matters is like what you're around, right? If you're around panels, if you're around painted parts, if you're around brake lines, if you're like all these things factor in your attack in on the system. Heating up with propane is not going to hurt anything. It's not. People have been doing it for decades. The guy I work with, he's been here since 68. He heats everything up. Everything gets heated, right? It just works better. It comes out easier. Freezing the bearing is not a problem. It's actually just, what is that, chemistry? Is that chemistry?
Yeah.
Okay, chemistry.
Yeah, the molecules get denser.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Bingo. And that can work great. Hydraulic press are used. I think I like to use hydraulic presses when it's easy to use it, right? When you can level the part out nice and easy. It's not some weird angle and you're trying to manipulate this bearing and you're not sure if you can get it in straight or not. Like that's where it gets kind of sketchy with presses because you can really do some damage to the metal.
Sure.
I snapped my wife's lower control arm on her Mazda one night. I was like, I'm going to do the wheel bearings on it. And I broke that freaking $400 lower control arm trying to press a bearing out that I didn't know what I was doing, Actually, it just wouldn't come out. So heat is your best friend when it comes to wrenching, man. I fully believe that. And just, again, just be aware of what you're around. What do you say?
Both methods for sure.
Yeah.
I have MAP gas because I'm impatient. It burns a little hotter than propane.
For sure.
I like more fire sometimes.
Uh-huh.
So, okay. It depends. If it's raw aluminum, not painted, you're not going to burn anything. You're not going to set anything on fire. Then
Right.
Heat works great. This engine here, all the engine bearings, dude, I have a barbecue grill right out there. I heat
Bingo.
the thing up to 300 degrees. I use, instead of saying, hey, as hot as possible, whatever, put a number to it. Okay. So I have one of these IR thermometers.
There you go.
Generally, when you get the aluminum to 180 degrees plus, that's enough for it to expand to accept a bearing. Maybe 200, 220, that sucker will slide in. And you don't even have to freeze the bearing. It'll just slide right in, depending on the situation and the application. Right. But yeah, freezing the bearing will shrink it, expanding it with heat.
You just gotta be quick.
Right. Yeah.
It takes a little bit of skill. You can drop a cold bearing into a hole crooked and now you're fighting with it again. You know what I mean?
Be ready with a driver and race.
For sure.
To tap a cockeyed bearing, whatever. Or
even.
Something.
Yep.
Yeah. So there's
especially
that.
Like wheel bearings and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. But it sounds like he's talking about install. How did he take the bearing out?
Yeah.
Same thing or what?
Dude, if you heat that hub up hot enough, that thing's just gonna fall out.
Yeah.
I've set up like 3 blow torches on a hub bearing before. I like positioned all three of them like to be like laying in like spiral to the hub, just cooking it for like 4 or 5 minutes. That bearing just went bloop and just like fell out.
Yeah.
Sweet, because I tried banging it out and like I was just damaging what I was working on.
Sure.
So just heating it up, it's not going to discolor it. Again, it wasn't painted. Or use a press, but just dude, presses.
You got to have the right setup.
You gotta have the right setup.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But for instance, the swing arm on this bike has been powder coated,
Okay.
so I can't apply heat.
There you go.
So I got to use a press.
It's not an option. Yep.
It's not an option. But heat would help.
Yeah.
You
But
know,
factory hubs, dude, like what you're working on with ATVs and side by sides, heat it up. I've heated up black hubs before that are coming from ATVs. A lot of times they're not, unless it's like a Talon or something very expensive, you know. But mainly they're just like some, you know, metal colored hub. Heat it up, dude. It's honestly it's a quicker way. But if you have an arbor press or you have these nice presses, dude, do it. Screw what they say and do it because that's what makes you feel safe and like you're doing it correctly, you know. But if you don't have that, the quick way to get them out and get them in, heat, boom, heat and cold, hot and cold.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it for this one, man.
Cool. All right, guys. We've been at this for quite some time now. We appreciate all your guys' emails. We do need them. Send them to askbrokenmoto@gmail.com. That's how you send in your questions. That's how you want to get our addresses to send us awesome things like beer. All the things. askbrokenmoto@gmail.com. Hit up How to Motorcycle Repair for a lot of awesome content when it comes to rebuilding motors, to carb cleans, to vapor honing, to all different types of stuff. Hit up MotorcycleMD, as well as the Instagram /themotorcyclemd for even more specific content on whatever you need Honda-wise. Hopefully I can help you out. So that's it, man. That's all I got.
Yeah, and our inbox is empty at the moment, so we
empty.
definitely need you guys' input.
It's empty. Okay. So what empty looks
And
like.
then thanks, Cody, for sending me this stuff.
You're very welcome. 10% off of any grip clean products you buy. We'll put a link in the description. Their products are awesome. You can find out for yourself. All right.
That's it. Time for bed, man.
Rest, Matt. Go get some rest, bro.
Shoveling snow all day.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
All right, later. Thank you.
Later.